This is Boats of the Thousand Islands, the show about every kind of watercraft on the Great St. Lawrence River. Your hosts are Robbie and Terry, both 15. Every week they break it down so you actually get it.
About every kind of watercraft on the Great St. Lawrence River. I'm Terry.
And I'm Robbie, and today we're talking about the boat that basically is summer, the Bowrider.
The Bowrider, the one with the open seating up in the nose where everyone piles in and immediately regrets it at full speed.
Right? You go from 0 to my hat is gone forever in about 3 seconds flat.
So what exactly makes a boat a Bowrider, Robbie? Because I feel like people just call anything with a motor a Bowrider.
Fair point. A Bowrider is specifically an open bow runabout, meaning there's a seating area built right into the front of the hull, ahead of the windshield.
So instead of a solid deck at the bow, you have a little lounge area, facing each other, wind in your face, bugs in your teeth.
Exactly the dream. Most Bowriders run somewhere between 17 and 24 feet, which is the sweet spot for a family day on the water.
That's big enough to actually fit people, but small enough that you can still trailer it home and park it in the driveway.
Which is a huge deal because marina slips on the St. Lawrence are not exactly cheap. Your driveway costs nothing except your neighbor's patience.
So when did the Bowrider actually become a thing? Like someone had to look at a boat and say, you know what? Let's put a couch up front.
Basically, the 1950s outboard and inboard engines got reliable enough for leisure boating, and builders started designing specifically for families on lakes and rivers.
Post-war prosperity. Everyone wanted a car, a house, a TV, and apparently a boat with a weird front seat.
Chris Craft and Correct Craft were early big names. Correct Craft actually started building recreational boats back in 1925, so they've been at this for a while.
100-ish years of boats. That's wild. And now the market is huge. Sea Ray, Chaparral, Glastron, Four Winds. Tons of brands all competing for your family's summer.
One of the most popular sizes is the 21-foot range. Seats 6 to 8 people comfortably or 10 people uncomfortably, which is how most families actually use it.
Speaking from experience,
I am speaking from experience, yes. Someone is always sitting on the cooler.
let's talk hull design because it actually matters on the St. Lawrence where you get river chop, boat wakes, and the occasional surprise wave from a freighter.
Bowriders typically use a modified V hull, deeper in the bow to cut through chop, flatter toward the stern for stability at rest. Best of both worlds.
A deep V would handle waves better, but you'd lose that flat swim platform and low-speed cruising feel. The modified V is a compromise that works really well.
And the St. Lawrence throws some genuinely interesting conditions. You've got fast current, heavy commercial traffic, and then sudden afternoon thunderstorms that show up like they're personally offended by you.
So that hull compromise is doing real work out here. You want to handle a 2-foot wake from a 1,000-foot laker and also be chill at a sandbar.
And the engine placement matters too. Most modern Bowriders use a stern drive, also called an inboard-outboard, where the engine sits inside the hull but the drive unit is outside. Exactly.
That keeps the center of gravity low, which helps with that modified V hull doing its job, and it means more room inside the boat.
Horsepower ranges wildly. A family Bowrider might have 200 horsepower, which is plenty. Performance versions can push 400 or even 500 horsepower.
500 horsepower in a 22-foot boat is either thrilling or terrifying depending on who's driving.
Mostly terrifying, briefly thrilling, then terrifying again.
What about fuel? Because everyone I know with a Bowrider treats the gas station like it personally wronged them every weekend.
Yeah, bowriders are thirsty. A typical 4.3-liter stern drive might burn 8 to 12 gallons per hour at cruising speed.
At current fuel prices, that adds up fast. A full day on the water can cost real money just in gas before you even buy sandwiches.
Which is why slower speeds actually save you a ton. The fuel curve on a gasoline inboard-outboard is steep. Half the speed is way less than half the fuel.
Physics is always ruining the fun.
Physics is an uninvited passenger who never chips in for gas.
Let's talk safety because the Thousand Islands region specifically has some busy shipping lanes and navigation rules that every bowrider driver needs to actually know.
Rule 1. Commercial vessels have the right of way. A 1,000-foot freighter cannot stop for you. It takes about a mile and a half to slow down from full speed.
A mile and a half. That freighter you see way downstream is already making decisions about where you're going to be in several minutes.
So you move early, you move clearly, and you don't assume they see you. A bowrider sits very low on the water and can be hard to spot.
Kids in the bow also means life jackets are non-negotiable. In Canada, you are legally required to have a life jacket for every person aboard.
And in the US, the Coast Guard requires every child under 13 to wear one at all times while the boat is moving. Know the rules for where you are.
The bow seating looks super fun, but it does mean passengers are forward of the windshield with no real protection. Speed and passenger behavior really matter up there.
Modern bowriders have gotten much safer, padded coamings, better grab handles, stern swim platforms with ladders, and a lot of them now have kill switches that attach to the driver.
If the driver falls out, the engine stops. Simple idea that took embarrassingly long to become standard.
Marine engineering, occasionally slow on the obvious stuff.
So big picture, why has the bowrider stayed so popular for like 70 plus years when there are pontoons, deck boats, wake boats, all competing for the same family buyer?
It's the feel. Bowriders drive like a sports car. They're nimble, they're responsive, they look sleek in the water. A pontoon is a patio. A bowrider is a ride.
Nothing against pontoons, but there is a difference between floating calmly and actually going somewhere with intention.
And they're versatile. You can ski behind them, you can tube, you can fish at dawn and swim at noon. One boat, one full day, every kind of fun.
For the Thousand Islands specifically, the bowrider makes a lot of sense. You want to island hop, explore the channels, poke around under bridges, that size is perfect.
21 feet gets you under the bridges and into the smaller cuts between islands. A bigger boat and suddenly your whole day is just staying in the main channel.
And the region has over 1,800 islands. Technically, anything above 1 square foot with at least one living tree counts as an island.
1 square foot and 1 tree. There are islands out there that are basically a boulder with ambition.
Ambitious boulders deserve respect and a bowrider to visit them.
So if you're thinking about getting into boating, the bowrider is genuinely one of the best starting points, approachable, fun, and it fits in a normal garage.
Learn your navigation rules, wear your life jacket, respect the freighters, and go find one of those 1,800 islands.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back next week with another boat, another river story, and probably at least one more argument about hull design. See you next week on Boats of the Thousand Islands.